let's play this clip, and I want to get Jennifer's, because she's got some info on some of the backlash that's gone on. Let's play this clip, the exchange between House Chairman Todd Gilbert and Delegate Kathy Tran.
Delegate Tran.
Yes, sir.
How late in a pregnancy would your bill apply if a physician was simply willing to certify that the continuation of the pregnancy would impair the mental health of the woman? How late are we talking about?
Well, so the way the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the third trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician. So
how late in the third trimester would you be able to do that?
It's very unfortunate that our physicians, witnesses, were not able to attend today to speak specifically.
No, I'm talking about your bill. How late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Or physical health.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health.
So, through the third trimester. Third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay, but to the end of the third trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So, where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth, that she has physical signs that she is about to give a birth, would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified? She's dilating.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman would make.
I understand that. I'm asking
point.
if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
Okay, Senator Jennifer Boysko, 33rd District, newly elected to that Democrat, rising star, by the way, in the Democratic Party in Virginia. She's going to be a future gubernatorial candidate, I believe. She's a rising star.
Wow. I didn't say that.
No, I did. I call it like it is. You're a rising star.
I'm also in Congress, so according to John.
Yeah, so.
Well, you could win if you would, get off your butt and run. So, Jennifer, that exchange, Senator, what did you think of that?
Well, I think that the conversation about this bill is actually taking away the medically unnecessary restrictions on a provider's ability to perform abortions. That is the intent of the bill. In 2011, a series of restrictions were put on abortion providers that are not on any other doctor or any other medical profession in Virginia. This is the abortion is still available under Roe v. Wade, and the incidence of a third trimester abortion is one that is very, very difficult for a family to go through. They're dealing with fetal anomalies where the fetus has no chance of survival. No one would go into that easily or without really thinking through it, and it's a very painful decision for families. I've talked to folks where they're the way the fetus is formed, maybe the parts of the organs are out of the body. We're talking gross anomalies here, not someone who just decided at the last second that she didn't want to carry the baby to term.
Yeah, but the bill allows for that because she says that mental health. Delegate Tran said that mental health could be a reason to terminate the child in the final days before, it could be a week before. If one doctor says, yeah, you're suffering from anxiety, you can just terminate the baby. Well, according to her bill.
The testimony said that she said that even up to the point of dilation, that was covered under her bill. Now, whether it is or not, that's what she testified to, and that's what is on the video.
Well, that's what's in the bill.
That's why the video is so viral right now, is because even it may not be described in the bill accurately by the patron. This is the severity or the seriousness of legislation when you put it in, and this is why it has to be thought through. And I don't know if she did this or not, but having been there with hundreds of bills in committee or carrying personally myself, you have to know your bill. And when she defaulted to the saying, well, I wish my physicians were here to explain the bill, and Todd Gilbert's going, look, it's your bill.
Well, no,
we're
I mean,
here.
I
It's
think
time
she
for you to
explained
explain it. And I don't think she explained it well. It might be accurately so.
Well, what
but
Gilbert
the point
said
was,
is,
it's politically dangerous.
can you, is mental health, can the doctor say you're suffering mental health?
Right.
And she said yes, that's
said
in her
yes.
bill. So my question to you, Senator Boysko, is, as you heard this exchange, are you comfortable with this bill?
I have actually been a supporter of a woman's right to choose whether or not she's going to carry a pregnancy to term. However, we already have restrictions in place for providing that a third trimester abortion would be under very strict supervision, and I support that.
But her bill doesn't. Her bill allows for one doctor. I mean, you can get
Yeah,
one doctor to say you're suffering from anxiety, and the baby's, you're in dilation, and you just terminate the pregnancy.
I don't think
mean,
there is any instance when there's ever a person who would do that. I disagree
Well, then why would
fundamentally.
you need-
But
why
the
would you
point,
need to put that in the bill,
The
then?
point is here, though, John, this is the only medical procedure where somebody can be charged with a crime. It's in the criminal code. Doctors should be able to responsibly practice medicine and make responsible decisions, and we should trust our doctors. Politicians should not be making these decisions for people, and I believe that if you have an issue where you don't believe that this is the right thing because of your religion, you have every right to do that. But a doctor should be able to execute their medical profession in a responsible way without interference from politicians. And that's where I stand on it, and that's the intention of the TRAP bill. In Texas, under Hellerstedt v. Whole Women's Health, the Supreme Court found all of the provisions that are in this bill that Kathy Tran has carried as unconstitutional. And the point of this is saying we should be listening to what the Supreme Court said, that, again, politicians should not be making medical decisions for women or for doctors. And that's where I stand on it.
Is there a complement to this bill in the state Senate?
All of the reproductive bills have already been killed for the session.
So where does this go?
Well, currently
Chris?
it's in the legislative process. It's over for this year. It could be
Right.
brought back in the subcommittee through a variety of procedures, which probably won't happen with this bill because the prevailing side on the bill, to make the motion to do that, I don't think you have the votes to do that.
Right.
But to Senator Boysko's point, there was a bill, a complementary bill, I think in the Senate. I don't know which number that was, but the reality is, in a political context, it's not whether it's rare or it's covered. It's what was testified to, and the political impact of this is going to be significant in this election cycle.
That is a stunning video, and I'm not sure that was the delegate's best moment. Had the senator been there explaining her bill the way you just did here, this thing would not have gone viral. I mean, it would have been.
I still think Todd Gilbert would have gotten to the nuts and bolts of this legislation and its political impact, because it's to what Senator Boysko said. It's not whether the intent is there or allowing the pregnancy to go to the term. That's what exactly the bill does, and what she also explained here, and that's her position, and she's perfectly right in her that's her right to have that position. I'm just talking about the political impact of the bill.
Political impact. Like, I'm a
Really
Catholic, I'm
significant
pro-life, and you kind of deal with it. Roe v. Wade. I'm not for overturning Roe v. Wade. Everybody knows that. I believe that it's passed, and you just can't take that situation away. So I would not be in favor of that. But this is just a bridge too far for a lot of people. It is just a bridge too far.
Well, it's a motivator. I mean,
It
a lot of
really
the
is.
social
It's a bridge
conservatives
too
have
far.
been.
It's a bridge too far.
Well, and look, I sent it around to people saying, "What do you think?" And they were outraged
Well, Senator DeSteph walked out of the show
and
when he
said,
saw it.
and remember what he said?
Yes.
We fight wars over this.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I mean, you would not be out of line by saying that it's potentially genocide, because that's really what the issue is here. And it's kind of sick.
I really feel like you all are taking this for political advantage here. And women.
I'm just describing the political reality. What's going to happen? It's not about advantageous. I'm not in party politics. I'm a very nonpartisan guy, as you point out all the time.
You're a Democrat.
The point is the political as Jennifer Boysko knows, Jennifer Boysko knows, who just came through a special election. You have to get your base out.
Yeah, where she got 75%.
You have to get you have to get voters out to the voting
her
booth.
opposition.
And what motivates
Like
people to
Obama.
show up are issues that matter to them. This issue matters to certain segments of the population. They will show up and will have an impact.
Let
I'm
me
just
just
saying.
read to you what the bill says, so that we don't completely turn this into.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying this.
Sure.
My role here is to describe to
Sure.
the audience the political impact.
Sure.
ahead.
And I hear that, and I respect that. But I want us to hear exactly what the bill
All right,
says,
Senator, go ahead.
okay? So in 18.2-75, when abortion or termination of pregnancy lawful after second semester of pregnancy, after second trimester. And this is going to take me a couple seconds, so just give me a
Go
second,
ahead.
okay?
You got it. You got the floor.
Okay. Notwithstanding any of the provisions of 18.2-71, in addition to the provisions of 18.2-72 and 18.2-73, it shall be lawful for any physician licensed by the Board of Medicine to practice medicine and surgery to terminate or attempt to terminate a human pregnancy or aid in the assist of a termination by performing an abortion for a woman on a stage of pregnancy subsequent to the second trimester, provided that the following conditions are met. Said operation is performed in a hospital licensed by the Virginia State Department of Health or operated by the Department of Behavioral Health Developmental Services. 2, the physician certifies and so enters in the hospital record of the woman in that the physician's medical opinion based upon the physician's best clinical judgment and continuation of the pregnancy is likely to result in the death of a woman or impair the mental or physical health of the woman. Measures for life support for the product of abortion shall be available and utilized if there is clearly visible evidence of viability.
I'm trying
Now
to
let me
read the bill
just
with you. Hold on a second,
yeah.
if I can, because
I
I'm
just-
trying to follow you.
Sure.
What section of the bill are you
This
referring
is lines starting on line 68. So
to? But that's existing. That's existing
no,
law.
this and
That's
that's
underlying code.
This is all that is being changed. Is
No,
Yes, it is. Look,
It's not italicized.
this is all that's being changed. 2 consulting physicians certify,
Right.
and
So you-
that's all that's
All right,
being
we got a
changed.
debate here going on between
this
Simon
is
and
this is
Jennifer
remaining
Boysko.
law. This is already
law.
current
So
law.
what is their bill?
And so the only thing it's changing is removing the provision that says you have to have 2 doctors to 1 doctor. I know this bill very well, though,
It should be
Chris.
2 doctors.
I understand, but having
I
This
mean,
is
one
all
doctor
that's
could be your
changed.
brother-in-law.
All
So
it's changing is
what
from
you
2
read was
doctors to
current
1,
existing law.
and that's
So
going
why
to
would you do
continue to
that?
be the law.
Why would you not have 2 doctors? I mean, this is like insane.
Because that's
Why
there's
did you need that bill? I mean, if you're already allowing a third trimester abortion, but you want 2 doctors, I mean, 2 people have to sign a document.
that's all that's being
because in
changed,
that bill
John.
in that bill right now, it says also mental health.
Right,
mental
it's already
illness.
there. So we're not making massive changes.
Well, yeah,
and that's what is being
There's no double check. It's just 1 doctor.
But John, let's
Who's
just
the doctor?
The doctor is the person who
The
is
guy in Philadelphia?
No,
What
it's
was
the
his name?
person who is
Gosnell.
certified,
Gosnell? How about
licensed
if
by
the doctor-
licensed
Gosnell.
licensed by the Virginia Department of Health, or operated by the Department of Behavioral Health, and certified by the Board of Medicine here in Virginia. So we're not changing massive things in the code, and everybody needs to understand that.
Well, it's informed consent. It's all,
Right, but
is
this
the
part where we're talking about second trimester or beyond, that's
Okay.
what I wanted to clarify, that this isn't a major shift from what we already have in the code. And it's being misinterpreted and misrepresented as though this is something sweeping and new, and it's not.
All right, let's get.
Okay?
So
I
the
want to
current
take a
I mean,
call.
to
I
back
want
it
to
up.
take a call. Let's get to Chris in Chesterfield, and then Jennifer. I want you to tell us about the death threats that Delegate Tran has received. Chris in Chesterfield, you're on the air.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, man.
I got to ask you this question, and I know it's going to seem really simple, but it is amazing to me how much time we spend on this. Look, there is nothing about the current situation in the pro-choice stance that prevents anybody who's pro-life from doing exactly what they want to do. I am just amazed that we're this free country. I mean, we pride ourselves on being so independent. Yet you have so many people who wish to be involved in one of the most personal decisions a person can make. And I have to think there are aliens floating above us, watching us, who left like 100 years ago and have come back and they're still stuck on this record? I mean, my God, it's nobody's business. And if you're a pro-life person, guess what? You should do that. You should never consider abortion as an option for yourself, but you have no right to infringe upon somebody else's choice. And they're the ones who are going to be encumbered by that choice. Nobody skips and sings to an abortion clinic. And if they choose to do it, they have to live with it, not you. It's amazing to me how arrogant that is. And I just wish we'd move on. That's all I have to say.
A lot of
you.
people find this.
Thank you, sir.
A lot of people find this bill by Kathy Tran just a bridge too far, because the baby could be in the middle of a birth, and you have the right now to just let it die. I mean, it's a bridge too far, Chris, for a lot of people. But I do thank you, and I do see where you're coming from. Jennifer, I got a minute and a half. I want you to tell our audience about the death threats that Delegate Tran has received over this.
Thank you, John. And I'm just going to point out again, nothing has been changed in the code except on that little piece of it, except removing the requirement from 2 doctors to 1 doctor to make that decision. And they provide life support if the baby is viable. So I just want to clarify that. People who are claiming that they believe in life and respect life are now threatening Delegate Tran and her family, including her children. This is not right, and it absolutely must stop.
Yeah.
She's now being forced to contact the police over this. No public official should have their safety threatened because someone disagrees with their political beliefs.
Well,
and
It's an
horrible.
ongoing
No person
issue.
should have their
No,
It's an ongoing issue on
no one
both
should.
sides.
Well, this
People
is
get
the
threatened over
volatility
this
of the issue, John. We're talking about in a political context. You can read the text online. I think the bill does more than the senator's explaining, because you have whole sections of the code that are being deleted in the bill. But and that's a separate debate for a separate moment. But in the context of what it's going to mean as a political dynamic, that video is so raw in its emotion for people who do care about this issue, who do care about the sanctity of life, who do believe it begins a lot further back in the pregnancy and at the point of conception. This is the point at which people show up and vote in elections on either side.
And you know what, Chris? I respect that people feel excited and fired up about this, but they need to understand what the bill says. It takes away the non-medically required provisions regarding abortion, and that includes reducing from 2 doctors to 1 doctor to make those types of decisions in a second or beyond trimester. That's it. So when we are firing people up on the radio right now, we are participating in getting folks angry, and some of those people go
No,
off
we're
the
just-
rails.
We're just reading the bill. I mean,
I
you
know.
can't make believe that
news.
yesterday's
This is
exchange
topical.
didn't exist and not cover it. That's what the fake news does. That's not what we do.
Okay.
We try to bring the facts.
All righty.
But we're out of time. I want to thank
Thank you
Senator
for having me. I
Jennifer
appreciate it.
Boysko. We have 2 more quick questions for you. Are you voting for the casino bill by Louise Lucas? Yes or no?
I expect that I will.
Yay. Second question. Are you for tolls on I-81? Yes or no?
I have I need to look at the bill further. I live in a neighborhood where there are tolls everywhere, and it's tough on folks. So I need to do more research to understand exactly what the provisions are, because that is not my neck of the woods.
Sounds
but
like you're leaning no.
I'm looking.
We hate tolls. They don't work.